Hello, Trinity family. We are in the midst of our prime recruiting season for the boys and girls choirs. You may know that last week we had two wonderful Bring a Friend to Choir events where each of the choirs had a chance to talk to their guests about their own choir experiences. And our guest children had a chance to participate in an open rehearsal, which was very exciting for them. You've probably noticed that our post pandemic numbers are pretty small right now due to the fact that we weren't able to recruit during the pandemic in the ways that we normally do. We weren't able to do outside concerts, and we weren't able to bring in any prospective children in to see what the choirs actually do. The girls' choir is actually doing really fine, but we didn't have any girls graduate from the choir last year. But as you've probably seen, the boys' choir is particularly small in number right now, and that's due to the fact that the boys' voices didn't stop changing just because there was a pandemic happening. And several very strong boys aged out during the pandemic and are now singing in the back row with the men's choir. So they're not gone, but they're still in the choir, but they're not singing in the boys' choir anymore. Right now, we've got a wonderful group of 8 boys, and they're a very fine group. But of course, we will need to add to their number. And rebuilding the boys' choir is going to be a process that's going to take several years. And that's because when we bring in a new boy at 8, 9, 10 years old, it's going to take him a few years before he is able to be a leader in the choir. And that's because of the high level of music making that we do in both choirs. Um, so so even with a strong recruiting season this year, it will take several years for our boys choir to be back up at the level that it had been in previous years. And that's not a bad thing, and it's but it is a challenge, and it is what we are facing right now. So if you and I say this all the time when I speak to you, if you know of any children, boys or girls, but particularly boys this year, please send them our way. If they are in any way interested in music or um, interested in singing in a group like this, this is a very I've said this many times. This experience, the experience of being in one of the Trinity choirs, is a gift that you can give your child that will be with them always. And it's if your child is has the talent and the will to be in our choir, why wouldn't you do it? It has a world class musical education and gives your child skills that last a lifetime. And I'm not talking only musical skills. It's social skills and math skills. It's come talk to me about it sometime, and I will tell you. It is just a gift that just keeps on giving. We're going to have a um, spring concert this year on April 1st. It's a concert that was scheduled actually for almost exactly 2 years ago. It'll be on April 1st, and it will feature the Pergolesi Stabat Mater. If you know of any children who might be interested in the choir, it would be a great time to bring them to see what the choirs do. And we hope to see you there. And I think Walden's going to tell you a little bit more about that concert.
Thank you, Rachel. Yes, we had set out to do the Pergolesi Stabat Mater with a small orchestral ensemble from the American Baroque Orchestra back just when we had to shut down for the pandemic, and so we're grateful to be able to offer this now. What's important to realize is that things are very different now. In that, if you think about it, the choirs have really only been back singing on a regular schedule for 6 weeks. We have only been back since the 1st of February. Yes, we sang through the pandemic with Zoom in parks and so forth, but it was a vastly different experience and didn't enable us to really build the strength that we now can build now that we're back in person and singing on a regular basis. As you know, we were unable to sing on a regular basis even when we were in person. So I echo all that Rachel said about please do send us kids this way. We do have children auditioning, but remember that from the large number that may audition, or the number, whatever number may audition, only a certain number will work out to be in actually be in the choir because of either their schedule or our, whether or not vocally they fit into the choir and so forth. So we have to see a large number of people just to get a few people. So that's one of the reasons Rachel's appeal is especially important. It's also important for the parish at large. The staff is aware of this already because they're here, of course, with me a lot each day. But that things will be different for a while as we rebuild. As Rachel said, the effect has been the greatest on the boys' choir, although it has affected all the choirs. But we have been able to increase the numbers, even in the membership of the parish choir is up. The girls' choir, we do have some new members, as well as the fact, as Rachel said, we didn't have girls graduating until the end of this season. We'll be graduating two senior girls at the end of this season. But it's important to realize that things like Easter will look different. For example, our brass group, those folks moved out of town. The pandemic was very hard on contract workers and so forth, and so many of those folks are gone. So this Easter we'll have timpani, but no brass because it takes about a year to get the right people reserved. You have to reserve their schedule in advance. And of course, I couldn't book a brass group in January of this year with what we were looking at with things. So again, I look to you and I say you're always supportive over the many years. I so appreciate that. We appreciate that. And it's going to be a couple of years of a process of rebuilding. And so the staff has already jumped in and lent its support. We're very grateful to the clergy, the vestry, to the entire church staff. And I appeal to you, the parishioners, and people in the New Haven community that are seeing this. Please give us the support we can. We're working hard. The singers are working hard. And we'll do the best we can to bring our program back where we all want it to be. Thank you very much for your time today, and we wish everyone well.